Hey everyone, it's that time again for one of these videos. Let's face it, Update 3.2 was one of the worst updates of all time. The only one that could possibly be worse was Update 1.0.7, which claimed to fix the game-breaking bugs that instead were exacerbated. Now notice I specifically said 3.2 and 3.2.1 by extension, because that's where the focus for my update tier list was at the time. Now, what actually went wrong with this update that made it get the worst update of all time award? Let's just say it got crazy. If it were for the balance changes alone and nothing else, then really not much in terms of meta shifting, although Adora is picking up steam now, so that's nice, even if she isn't necessarily meta yet. But that's not anything crazy. The crazy part is the Sun Terror has been born, thanks to a tower stacking glitch that takes advantage of server buffers, allowing you to place multiple towers in the same spot. The server takes time to acknowledge that you place a tower in a certain spot, and if you keep spamming towers in that one spot before the server acknowledges it, it'll allow all of those towers to be placed. That, coupled with an exploit involving IMF loan, allowed you to get insane amounts of money, and even without the tower stacking glitch, the INF loan exploit alone broke mid to late game strategy. And yes, I intentionally called it INF loan because it's just fitting. You know how in BTD6, you can't use the IMF loan's ability until all the debt from that farm's ability is paid? There's a reason they did that, and what you saw in Battles 2 is why. This isn't even exclusive to 3.2 by the way. It existed in 3.1 as well, but in that version the ability was bugged, so the money wouldn't be given consistently. Sometimes the debt would take priority, so you would receive 10k even though it is only your first IMF place, and other times the debt is ignored altogether, so even if you have debt, you'd receive the full 20k as if it were your first IMF, though the former case was more common. Regardless, there was no known way to replicate these bugs. Update 3.2.1 came out a couple days later, fixing the tower stacking glitch, but the INF loan exploit remained. To many, it seemed like 3.2 was doomed to fail all due to IMF being broken, but 3.2.2 eventually came out 4 days later patching out the INF loan exploit. It actually reminds me of BTD6 Update 33 in a way, where in that update, a Paragon limit was introduced and everyone seized at it. NK made a patch for it, ignoring the Paragon limit at first, then a half-assed fix by allowing 4 Paragons, but only in co-op, and eventually removing it in another patch, which they actually increased it to 10 Paragons for all modes. Only Odyssey, Boss, and CT events have custom Paragon limits now, but the damage was already done. And for several updates, it remained the worst update of all time. Update 3.2 will most likely face a similar fate, but that depends on how responsive my voters are because I have offered them the opportunity to change their votes, and the link will be in the description if you want to participate as well. I knew that once I posted the final result on the Battle 2 subreddit that it would be met with backlash, and trying to justify the reason put me even further down the hole. So in a way, I feel powerless just trying to get feedback from other people cause it'll just get shot down from my past history on this subreddit. Either way, I gave them 2 days after 3.2.2 came out to change their vote, yet nothing happened. No new votes either. I only received 12 votes for the entirety of the voting session, which is the lowest I've had yet, and I struggle to think of whether or not I'll be able to keep this going at this rate.